Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to another episode of the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Have you ever bought a travel book only to ask a local or watch where the locals eat and drink to get that real authentic experience of your travel destination? Or alternatively, do you live in a city and love the fact that you know more interesting things and places to hang out than any travel book? After all, nobody wants to be seen as a tourist, do they? If this sounds like you, then you're going to love tonight's show. There's a great new platform called GuruWalk that's based in Spain, but with an international flavour that allows anyone to be a tour guide. So buckle up, hold on tight, because I'm going to beam your ears all the way to Valencia in Spain so we can speak with Juan Lopez from GuruWalk, who's going to tell us all about it. So a big warm welcome to the show, Juan. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure, Neil. Thank you for inviting me. So yeah, I'm Juan Castillo. I'm a serial entrepreneur from Spain, and now I'm the co-founder of GuruWalk. So about what I do in my day-to-day, it's I take care of hiding, or as I like to call it, I'm the guardian of the culture. So I make sure that everybody is happy every day, and we share the same values, and we get on well all together. And I also work in setting up the vision of the company, where we are, and where we want to be, and make sure that everybody is aligned and work in the same direction. And yeah, I help my team with anything they need. And of course, I keep an eye that we don't run out of cash. Yeah.
Now, I love the ethos behind GuruWalk and how everyone can become a tourist guide in his or her own city. But for anyone listening that's new to this concept, can you offer an overview of exactly what GuruWalk is, where it is currently available?
Yeah, sure. So GuruWalk is an international marketplace for free walking tours. But maybe some of the listeners don't know what is a free walking tour, because it's a new concept and not everybody knows about it. But a free walking tour is usually a guided walk around the main landmarks of the city. Important thing here is that there isn't any fixed price about the tour. So everybody just pay whatever they want, a donation at the end of the tour, depending on how much they can afford and how much they like it. And in this way, you get two things, like everybody from any financial situation or economic situation can afford getting to know the culture of the city that they are visiting. And also the guides, like they put a lot of effort in doing it better and better every day, because they know that the better they do, the more tips or the more donations they get, right?
Yeah.
So we discovered this concept, and we knew that it was growing a lot, and we wanted to make a marketplace for that. So what we are is an international marketplace, like a shared economy platform like Airbnb or Lyft or whatever. So everybody can join and become a guide in their own city, as you said. And everybody that is traveling around the world and visiting a city can just look up if the city is available in our marketplace and book the tour that they like the most.
So where did all this begin? I mean, what was the inspiration behind GuruWalk and the story behind your very own startup journey there?
Yeah, well, it has many inspirations, because 6 years ago I was traveling in Cuba, and I became in love with that country and with those people, and I was sad that they didn't have the same possibility that we have in the developed countries. And I said to myself, so maybe someday I will have something for helping these people. Yeah. So like 2 years ago, one of a really good friend of mine was working in Paris as a free tour guide, and he told me about what was that, and he was earning 3,000 euros per month. Like, he was earning a lot of money, and I knew him. He wasn't earning money in his own life, and he was very happy with this work, and I became so interested about that. So I said, okay, what about if I set up a marketplace like this, and I focus my efforts in in helping people in these developing countries, such as Cuba. So that's the story. In make the long story short.
Fantastic. I mean, just to help people actually visualise how the whole thing works, let's imagine I'm catching a flight to Havana tonight. How can GuruWalk actually help me get the most out of my trip when I land?
Yeah, sure, Neil. So Havana is a really good example because it's actually where we were focused, where we focused our efforts at the beginning because of that inspiration that I have. But free walking tours are really useful for these unplanned trips. Like if you take a flight tonight to Havana, maybe you haven't made a proper research about what to see there and what to do there. So if you take a free walking tour, you get to know the most important landmarks of the city and the story behind it. And you get to know the culture and everything in just 3 hours. And also for a really cheap price because you put the price on it. Also, you get the local advice about what to do later, which places you should visit, or if there is something important happening those days in the city, you shouldn't miss it, because maybe you made a proper research, but there is a festival that weekend you didn't knew. Maybe in that way, with a free tour, maybe you get to know all these important local advice. And you can also, you travel alone, maybe you meet other travelers in that tour, maybe you make new friends, and maybe you will enjoy a lot more the trip.
Now, you did mention people travelling alone there, so I've got to ask as well, if there is anybody travelling alone and they're not too confident, I mean, how do you guys address any safety fears from travellers, and how do you check if your guides only do have honourable intentions, for example?
Yeah, so solo travelers or people that travel alone are actually the people that take more free tours, actually. So we embrace completely the sharing economy philosophy. So we think that everybody should be able to become a guide and join our platform, and we do not filter or make any exams to guides, or we don't ask for qualifications or certification, because we don't believe in that. So we rely on the reviews of other travelers. We embrace this sharing economy philosophy, and we do not care that much about that. So, but actually it's not that dangerous, because you are walking in the main streets of a city. It's not like sleeping in someone's house like Airbnb. So I think safety is not the most important issue here. But we just rely on the reviews. But not because of the security, but because of the quality. We care more about the quality than the safety, because we do not think that it will be a big problem in this case.
So if I wanted to become a guide myself right here in Birmingham in the UK and take tourists around areas that Ozzy Osbourne or Led Zeppelin's Robert Plant frequented when they were younger, how would I go about actually setting myself up as a guide on GuruWalk?
Well, it's really easy. You just sign up in GuruWalk, publish a GuruWalk, as we like to say, with a compelling description about your tour, and you just upload some pictures that about those places that you are going to visit, and that's all. And it's free. Everybody can join and become a guide for free. Is that simple?
And as for the people visiting the cities, how many cities are you actually covering at the moment, and how quickly are you growing and adding those other cities?
Well, since we are growing pretty quickly, I'm not really sure about how many cities we are now, but I think we are in 67 cities right now in the world.
Cool.
And we just have 7 months of life. We started at 7 months ago, and we have invested in advertising €0. So we are very, very happy about how this is growing and working. About the growth, we have been growing sometimes 30% week over week, which is a lot. But in this early moment, working in an industry so influenced by the holidays and seasons, those metrics aren't so accurate, and we do not focus that much in those metrics. But we are pretty happy about how it's doing right now.
Fantastic. It really seems a fantastic idea. I can see why it's getting so popular and growing all the time. But what are your plans for the next 18 months? I mean, do you see that service continue to evolve as it grows?
Yeah, well, I hope that in the next 18 months, we will be more than 500 cities, for sure.
Wow.
Because we are now focused in the mid and long tail cities. Like, we are not focused in the most competitive cities, such as London or Berlin or Amsterdam, because we want to focus where we add more value. We add more value in those developing countries where people couldn't afford or can't afford making their own website and paying advertising in Google for taking some clients. We will hope that big cities will arrive organically, while the domain gets more and more authority. And we are always thinking in the long term and not in competing with other people that can do it better than us locally right now. Yeah. So we will see what happens anyway. And we hope that the core service should remain the same, but we are always seeking for qualitative feedback from our users. So maybe we realize that something has to change. And for sure, this service will not be the same for some freelance guys than for companies, for free tour companies. But maybe the companies will need some tools for managing all their tours and everything. But we will think in those problems when they arrive. So we don't want to think in problems that we don't have right now.
Don't blame you at all.
Yeah.
So if we've captured the attention of anyone listening and maybe they want to set themselves up as a guide, what tips can you offer to set up that perfect tour? And also maybe a what to do or what not to do guide when setting up that page?
Yeah, well, if someone that is listening right now is thinking about becoming a guide, I will ask you just to sign up and try. Yeah. And we will contact them and help them to set up the perfect tour. So don't think it too much and just do it and try. Okay. But we always say to the people that they should write a compelling description about what the travelers will see in the tour, and just put some good quality pictures about those places. That's all. And maybe if you are an expert in something cool, such as graffiti, maybe you can do a graffiti tour. Or if you know a lot about contemporary architecture or something like that. So do a tour about that. Do a tour about something that you are passionate about, and you can express those emotions to the travelers, because they will love it and it will be a special tour. So nobody can copy you in that way. And just do it, publish it, and invite your friends to do the tour with you, so you can practice with them and improve with them and see if you really like working like that or not. That's all.
Well, a huge thank you for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it. But before I let you go, can you remind the listeners of your website details and also where listeners can find you on social media, and equally how they can contact you or a member of your team if they've got any questions about what we've talked about today?
Yeah, sure. So the URL of our website is GuruWalk.com. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly in English, but we are, of course, in Facebook and Twitter as GuruWalk, and everybody can contact us through there. And if you want to ask me something personally to me, you can find me on LinkedIn. If you look up for Juan Castillo GuruWalk, for sure, I will feel free to add me and ask me anything. I will always be happy to help.
Excellent. Well, I'll add all those links to the show notes just to make sure people can get to you as quickly as possible. And I do think that if ever you live in a city other than your home, you quickly learn all those cool things to see, the cool places to eat. You don't see in any guidebooks, and it proves that local knowledge is priceless. So what you've created here with GuruWalk really is something that I'm quite passionate about, and I salute you for what you've done there. So a big thank you for coming on and sharing your story today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Neil, for inviting me.
I love the concept behind GuruWalk, and I also love how this traditional media will perpetuate those traditional stereotypes. But through technology, people are naturally forging new friendships and relationships that are now arriving in cities all over the world to learn firsthand how people live. Because ultimately, this common understanding delivers an appreciation of how we are all exactly the same. And I think it enables personal growth and a much broader worldview. So I genuinely love GuruWalk, and I hope to be checking it out on my next adventure. And I think my next trip is in Denver in February. So if there isn't already a guide on GuruWalk for Denver, I challenge anyone listening now to set yourself up as a guide and let me know so you can show me the sights.
Where do you listen to the show? on a walk or run, when cooking or washing the dishes, at the gym, walking the dog, or is the Tech Blog Writer podcast the soundtrack to your commute? Why not let Neil know by tweeting him at Neil C. Hughes, or say hello on the Facebook page at www.facebook.com/techblogwriterpodcast.
So a big thank you to Juan for making me aware of GuruWalk and for indeed coming on to today's show. As for the rest of you, a big thank you for everyone listening. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.